love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always
Namaste friends, in today's lecture we'll be seeing about EC2 metadata. Hey, what is this metadata? The data's data is a metadata, and how it is actually coming into the EC2 and what are the commands that we are actually using and what we are actually seeing. It's a hands-on lab. I've actually done it to the best of my abilities. Hang in there, kindly see, and let's see what we have actually done.
Namaste friends. So in the last lecture we saw about the bootstrap scripts, and we actually saw we went to the user data, we actually typed in a script, and I also explained about the script, and I did mention, like, in this lecture we'll be seeing about the user data. So what is a metadata and what is a user data, and why is it actually important, and what are we going to be doing here is what we are going to be seeing in today's lecture. And like always, today's lecture is also going to be a hands-on lecture where once again we'll be booting up the EC2 instance. So I think already so far we've actually booted up 3 times and probably terminated 3 times. This is nothing but a practice. Okay, so be in there. So as I said, what is a metadata? How we are going to be retrieving the metadata? How we are going to be using the user data to save the metadata, and there is a demo. So the metadata, always remember, is the data's data. Now you have a data, which is my name, Prasanna Krishna Sharma, is a data, my age, my location is a data. So the data which actually holds that data, the data's data is like, in what format it is, whether it is a string, the amount of characters, when we actually get into the databases and stuff, we'll be seeing. So the data's data. Okay, so what is that Prasanna Krishna Sharma, what exactly it is, in what type it is, what format it is. Okay, the data's data is called the metadata. Okay, and this can also include your private IP address, your public IP address, host name, security groups, etc. So this is quite important, as you could see. Okay, and how we actually retrieve the metadata, we'll be seeing there's a command called curl, and there's a specific command, I think it is 169.254.169.254 for both the metadata and user data retrieval, and let's actually confirm the same in order to retrieve the same. Okay, so we will be combining the user data and metadata, we'll be seeing it, and this part will come later. So what we will do is, let's actually get down to the hands-on lab. Here we go, services, here we go, EC2. There is no instance running because, as I always say, after everything I actually delete it. Let's actually launch the EC2 instance one more time. Okay, so everything is the same, the instance type is the same, the key pair login, I can use a pras. I can select an existing security group, and what is my existing security group? I have a default, I have a launch wizard. See, don't be confused by this, because it is my bad that I didn't give you the name. But what I can do is, when I say launch wizard, the security group is nothing but creating those HTTP, HTTPS, SSH, and RDP. We didn't go for RDP. Remember that 8443, that is what. So I can actually choose an existing security group. I can have the same storage settings, and in the advanced details, I don't need all these things. In the instance profile, I can actually do this access. I don't need all these things. And what I can actually do here is, in my user data, which is optional here, okay, in my user data, what I can actually do here is, I've actually written some set of commands. So let me actually let me actually take this. So let me actually take this, and let me actually put this, and let me actually read it for you. As I always said, the hash, this thing, bin bar / bash is the first way that you do it. Okay, if you want to memorize it, go ahead, memorize it, nothing wrong. The yum update, this is the 3rd time or the 4th time, is basically updating the latest and the greatest, whatever updates has actually happened. The next 2 steps I'm just asking in order to start my web services. Okay, so yum install httpd, yes, and service, my httpd start. I'm just asking my web services to start, and as you can see, it's a http, so it is port 80. Okay, some quick thing here, and then I'm creating a HTML. So if you see my lecture on AWS building a static web page using S3, I've actually explained how to actually do a HTML, and I've also explained the help of Edit Plus. So the HTML always opens up with a hashtag. This is like this is basically it is called like brackets or hashtag, whichever way that you want. HTML body. There is a lot of things here. The HTML used to be an art. Okay, you can visualize, you can actually write it, and then while ending it you have to say slash and you have to end it. So I'm actually giving this thing, okay, the curl is basically, yeah, my command is right, 169.254, 169.254. I'm actually writing everything to a thing called index.html. Okay, so let's actually launch an instance, and when it's actually launching an instance, the instance has been launched. So let me actually open up this EC2. So again, I don't know how many times this is, but as I always say, this has to be running for us to know anything. Okay, so this has to be running. It is not running, but hey, we are not going to be waiting for hours and hours. It's just a matter of minutes, if not seconds, where the status is going to be running. So let's actually wait for that, the moment it is going to be running. And before, it's not much, it's all like easy. So I don't expect this to be taking a long time, but I'm actually talking to you, it should be done. Yeah, it is running now. So this is exactly what I said, this is running. So what I'm going to be doing is, see the security here, see the public address, okay, private address, the subnet, blah blah blah, you have everything here. Now why don't I actually copy this public address, and why don't I just go here and then type in my public address, and yeah, the reason, because I've not connected it. Okay, so what I can do is I can go here and I would actually use my EC2 instance to actually connect it. Everything is the same. Okay, I'm not going to be using this. I'm going to say connect. So the EC2 instance is actually connected. Okay, so now let me actually see whether this public address is actually working. See, my IP is blah blah blah. See how it actually came. So the EC2 instance has to be connected, otherwise it is not going to work. And I already told you the private is not going to be working. This is in the previous lecture. So the sudo su, the sudo is also a command. The sudo su is a super user. So I'm actually elevating my this thing. I'm actually going to see from the EC2, which is this thing, I'm actually coming to my root IP, which is my thing. Okay, so this is where I'm going to be like typing in this command. Okay, and what is that command here? So I'm going to say all right, just give me a second. I need to take this command. Okay, so I know I can't type in here, so what I will do is I will actually type in this command here. I will say hash curl http, this is the number 169.254.169.254 slash, I can say latest metadata, I can say meta.data. So when I say list, since I don't have anything, that is okay, but still what I can actually do here is I can actually find my local IP address, right, my public this thing, right? So let me do that. The same thing, curl http, we gave 169.254.169.254 slash latest slash meta.data slash and what is my thing here, public IP4 IPv4. Okay, so when I say list here this should actually technically give, once I actually say this, it should actually give me. So let me see what is actually going wrong here. Let's try one more thing before I actually investigate. Let me see curl, I'll see http slash 169.254.169.254 slash latest and user dash data. When I say ls, I think I'm doing something wrong here, so let me actually investigate and come back. Okay, just give me a second. Alright friends, I actually kind of figured out what was actually going wrong. I just made a small mistake in the command. Okay, so right now we are in this thing, right? We are in the root. So I did a sudo, we are in the root. So this part we all know that, right? So which is good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say cd. I'm going to be changing the directory. A cd is a change directory, and I'm going to say var www/html. So I'm going to be going into this directory, and I'm going to be listing. So I have my index.html. This is what I actually created in the user data. So I'm going to concatenate my index.html. I'm going to see what it is. It is actually giving me my IP is, and this is exactly what you actually saw in this window when I actually opened there. So, that part is good. So the mistake I actually did was I put a second hash. So if you see here, this curl command, and then if I actually go to HTTP, and then if I go to 169.254.169.254, and then I say latest, and I say meta-data. See here, it should be giving me the data's data, which is the metadata. Okay, and I'm pretty sure maybe I would have done a mistake here. If not, I should be getting the answer. I don't know what is actually happening, but this should work. So just give me a second. What I will do is I'll again connect to the EC2 instance, and let's actually see it. Okay, so just give me a second. I can cut this short, and I can actually again connect it. Okay, right now it is in the EC2. So what I'm going to be doing is sudo su. I'm going to be sudoing it, and I'm saying cd, I'm saying var, I'm saying www.html. I'm actually changing the cd. Yeah, so I'm going to say list. It is going to be giving this, and I say cat index.html. This part we saw. So what I'm going to be doing is curl, this curl command, and then I'm saying HTTP, okay, this thing 169.254.169.254 /latest/meta-data. Okay, and I don't have another one, so let's actually see. Now it has actually given me the datas of the data. So this is what, so that is why I always say, when you're actually learning, don't be bogged down by the failures. With the failures we actually learn a lot, so always remember that. And let's actually see what this user data is. So the user data is the same curl, right? So it should be HTTP, and then it should be this this thing. So 169.254.169.254. It should be again the same latest in my opinion, and it should be user.data. So let's actually see that. Okay, if you want to see the public IP address here with the metadata, let's actually see that. Meta-data slash public slash IPv4. It gives my IP address. This is okay. Now what I can do is curl HTTP. I can do the same 169.254.169.254 slash latest slash, I think it's user data. Yeah, user data. So let's actually see. This exactly gave me what I wrote in that small box. So this is how you retrieve the user data. This is how you'll know what is in the data's data. All right, so now when we go to the final slide, what did we actually learn here? The user data is simply a bootstrap scripts. The metadata is a data about your EC2 instances, which we actually saw, and you can use the bootstrap scripts also to access the metadata. I trust you would have actually enjoyed this lecture. It is quite simple, but at the same time you saw how it can get tricky. So my strong suggestion is practice, practice, and practice. And if you have any questions, I'll be available to help you to the best of my abilities. Till we see you next time, take care, cheers, and thanks for giving me your time.
Namaste friends, I trust you have actually seen my lecture on the metadata, EC2. Probably liked it. If you have any questions, kindly contact me. I'll actually try to help you to the best of my abilities. Like always, I'd like to thank two persons. One is you for giving me a golden time, and the other is my wife Jayashree following me to follow my passion. Till we see next time.